audible, right?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Okay. So, After Effects is widely used as a visual effects software. Okay, this is mainly visual effects software. Okay, so visual effects and ante, you can make titles here. You can remove the chroma. Chroma means that a blue screen or a green screen they'll be using. Okay, and you can remove the wires by wire removal technique. Wires and ante in stunts you will be seeing they will be tying the ropes or wires everything to the stuntman. Okay, so పైనుంచి కింద పడడం or else car and everything, those rigs, everything also we can remove. Okay, so there they'll be using rotoscopic technique. Okay, rotoscopic means frame by frame they will be removing these all wires and all. Okay, so unmeans whatever requirement dependent upon the client. And next is visual effects in which you can simulate some effects in this, like blast effects, sparks. Okay, also you can create lot and lot of effects in this. Means even you can go with the motion tracking, camera tracking. Okay, so camera tracking, motion tracking, many other things are there in this visual effects software. So this is entirely for only visual effects. Okay, so here we'll be working on footages. Means a footage means it's a sequence of images. Okay, likewise we used to work in Photoshop. Fine, Photoshop was only a single image workshop, right? But this one, it is a sequence of images. So we'll be working on sequence of images. Okay, and so this is what this After Effects is. It's uh, software developed by this Adobe. Okay, so Adobe owns this software, like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, and Adobe Premiere Pro. And here we can work on same project by opening all the three softwares. Okay, so there will be a connection because the company itself is having these three softwares: Photoshop, Premiere, and After Effects. So if you want to edit something and again come back to that same project over this After Effects also, you can do. Okay, so that's a little bridge technique. Okay, which we will be using if we need, it's required. And yeah, it's very friendly, very easy. And most probably here we'll be doing all animations only, which are based like 2D animations mostly. And if you want the 3D look, then we have to apply some other objects and everything. And another thing is that now 3D in Maya or Max or any 3D software, so we'll be working with 3D objects. Like for example, you created some snake in 3D. Okay, so you want to show that snake in your live shoot. For example, you shot a shot by yourself, sitting on chair, and snake comes and a snake is entering into your room. So you want to show in that way. Then what you can do here is you'll create a 3D snake. Okay, and after creating a 3D snake, you will be rendering that snake with some parameters like in alpha channel. Okay, so we'll be rendering that with the transparency, and after rendering that, footage will be formed into a sequence. Okay, sequence of images which will be in some format like TIFF format or TGA format. Okay, or DPX format. So these are the main three formats what film productions use generally. And based upon, we can use PNG also, it depends. Okay, so likewise we'll be using these formats which consists of sequence of images, and we'll be working on them. So bringing that footage and just composing that footage with the what background you want to replace, like your room where a snake is going to enter. So here a few things you have to notice, that you have to see that camera angle should match. Okay, the camera angle which you shot in your live footage and the camera angle which you captured in this 3D should match. Both angles should be same. Now for example snake the వచ్చేసి you made it from top angle, and ఇక్కడ కిందది in మీ రూమ్ షాట్ వచ్చేసి మీరు జస్ట్ కింద నుంచి పెట్టారు. సో పైనుంచి ఏమో స్నేక్ బాడీ కనపడుతుంటది, పైన ఎలాగ ఉంటుందో అలా కనపడుతుంది. దాన్ని మీరు కింద యాంగిల్ ఎలా చూపిస్తారు అంటే స్నేక్ ఉల్టాగా గోడ మీద పాకుతున్నట్టు ఉంటది, రైట్? So likewise there are some other protocols which we should follow while going with the production and everything. They are planning to do with the CG, then they have to follow some protocols which they have to always have an assistant of CG person. Okay, so he will be assisting them what to do and how to capture the images and video. Okay, so this is your After Effects. And see one more thing, if you see these all are called as the panels, and left side this is a project panel, okay, or you can call project window. And this one is a monitor, actually we call it as a monitor. Okay, so it's a composition panel where your reference preview can be shown here. And here in the project panel you can import footages, images, or number of things you can import in this. Okay, and you can work on this. And next, this below one is called as a timeline panel, where you also heard this technical term in Maya, timeline. Yeah, so this is a timeline panel. So it's very easy, very simple software, but very effective software. And yeah, mostly this 70% or 60 to 70% of entire world is using After Effects. Okay, to mainly for basic needs, and for even for major movies also they are using this After Effects, because it's very effective and very easy, and it's very good with 2D environment. Okay, and it's good software. Now let's start some of this basics of After Effects, and let's go ahead. So here one more thing you have to notice, if you know this Premiere Pro editing software, okay, it's a render free software, that's Premiere Pro. But here in After Effects, you want to see the preview of anything, it will render first, only then it will show the real time play. Okay, so that is one small drawback, but no issues, we'll be continuing. Okay, so now first of all, the main thing is that how to import a footage or image or anything what you want. So here, if you go to the project window, okay, just right click, import files. So this is one way by which you can import some footages. You see in the desktop, is there anything? One second. Which I can import and show you something. It's okay, open. Let's import this. So as soon as I have imported this, you can see on the left corner of this project panel on the top, you see the name of the file, cgplates underscore 1 mp4. Okay, it's in mp4 format, and the size of that particular footage, and this is 1.09 is the pixel aspect ratio. Okay, and this is the time length, which is of how many seconds? It's 34 seconds it says. And at what frame rate it is? 24 frames per second, means a general frame rate. And what its color profile is, millions of colors. Okay, and its compression, what they used is H.264. Okay, which generally they'll be using for is YouTube videos. Okay, so this is generally used for YouTube videos. To create and render the YouTube videos, they'll be using H.264. Okay, and this is one way you can import the footage. and here you can see there is a delete button, there is a bin. Okay, so sorry, this is a delete button. Okay, you can see an icon like dustbin. Click it, simply went away. There is one more way, simply drag and drop. Okay, so this is another way to import the footage, drag and drop. Okay, the one way is right click and import the footage, the other way is drag and drop, and the third way is going into the file and import from the file. Okay, so this is a way how you can import the footage. All right, next, and here if you see in this window project panel, okay, so you have some information like what is the name of the file, okay, what type of the file is, MPEG file it is, which is MP4 or MP3 we can say, and what is the size of the file it's showing. So these all matters actually, and what is the duration of the file, and what is the path of the file from where the file you have imported. Okay, so this all information it's showing. Okay, whatever the footage you import or image or anything, okay, which you want to work on. Next, if you see here below, there is create new composition. Okay, and there is create new folder, and there is interpret footage. So I'll be discussing these topics later when I get this composition topic. Okay, so new folder means you can create a new folder, and after creating you can just drag and drop. So here we'll be working in number of footages and number of things. Okay, now this is just a video. MP4 means it's a video format. Okay, it's not a sequence of images, it's a video format, means completely compressed, and it will get only one single file where you'll be having only one video. Okay, but in some cases what happens is, if I have one second, I'll check whether I have or not. um, I have on another PC actually. CG plates, it's a movie file. Yeah, MOV cannot support because I haven't installed QuickTime, so we have to install that also. Uh, okay, downloads. I'm just checking with some details. Actually, what happens is, it's like a sequence of images in this other formats like TIFF, TGA, DPX, okay, PNG. So they are all single image, and it will be, connectivity of connected sequence images. So that once you drag it, you'll have a number of images and all. Okay, when I'll see. I'm not finding it actually. I thought. No issues. So where I was? Yeah, you create a folder so that you can put all your one particular effect. You name effect as a title. Okay, so that title related to that title things, raw images or anything, you'll be placing under this folder. Okay, and you'll create another folder in which another effect things are there. So likewise, you can maintain a proper, shelf system in this. Okay, So this is how the proper pipeline you should have to maintain, so that there won't be any issues further. For that, this folder creation is there. Right now I'm deleting it. Okay. So now this is what you have imported actually. Okay, it's only just imported. You are not started any work. Okay. So to start the work, you have to, here you can see create a new composition. Okay, so composition. Now let's come to the topic called as composition. So what is composition? uh, can you answer, any one of you? What is composition?
Sir, hello,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in composition, you can work the project, sir, that video, particular video in that table, sir. You can edit that video, sir.
No, that's called editing. It's not composition. Okay, I'll tell you. See, composition means nothing. Uh, taking one footage from one place, taking another footage from other place, and just combining those footage is called as a composition.
Okay, sir.
Simple. Okay, two images, if you combine to form one image, is called as a composition. You are composing. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, this is what composition is. So composition, we have to create composition. So how many ways are there to create the composition, that we will be working? And here you can see wherever my cursor is moving, that pointer, okay, I will be calling it as a cursor or the pointer. You can see info, in the info tab in that panel, RGB values are always changing. There is xy means it's a coordinate, means it's showing where the place, means entire you see in this monitor composition window. Okay, so you can see the coordinates xy, so where it is placed, because this is actually as a canvas area. We have to consider what we were considering in Photoshop. Photoshop we call canvas, right? So this is the canvas in which you will be working. Okay, and here also you'll be working, that is a timeline where you will be animating. You will be putting some layers, number of layers, we used to keep the layers tab in Photoshop, right? On the right side of the panel you used to have the layers, background layer, next layer, next layer, next layer. So those all comes under here in this one. And this is the length of that layer, means from where it has to start and where till where it has to end, or else it's going to be uh, you know with entirely on the complete composition. Okay, so we will be creating composition. How to create the composition, we will be finding the ways. Okay, so here simply if you click a new tab of composition, this video button, left corner you can see, I guess. So we'll get a new composition settings, right? New composition settings. So this is the name of the composition, for example, N and S, Noel and Sandeep. Okay. So this is the name of the composition, where you will be having some basics. Okay, so basic settings they are for HD TV 1080 29.97 frames per second. So 29.97 frames per second is generally used in which format? Is it a PAL or CCOM or NTSC? Please, anyone can answer.
PAL, sir.
PAL, sir. PAL.
Unfortunately, it's a wrong answer, guys. This is NTSC. Okay, so NTSC. The other countries, they are, except India, some of Asian countries, other people, they are using NTSC format. NTSC generally they will be using. Okay, so India will be using PAL. So this is what purpose they are using is for satellite relay. It means that for televisions they are using, by which through satellite you can send this. Okay,
Yes.
and through which you can watch. So they will be using that. PAL is for India, and CCAM is for your what do you say, China and all other Asian countries. So a few countries will be using this and that. And here presets. In presets you can see the custom preset is a web window. So depending upon what is the requirement of the final render output, we can create this composition settings. Okay, so you want a HD TV or a DVC Pro, or else HD TV with the 24 frame rate. Okay, and the pixel will be of 1080 or 25 frames or 29 point this one, or Cineon, or film 2K, film 4K. So what is film 2K and what is film 4K? You might have seen for this projectors in your cinema theaters. They are of 2K projector and 4K projector. Yeah, you would have seen in this on what do you say, tickets you can see,
Yes, sir.
movie tickets. It's a 2K. Generally, it's of 2K nowadays, and 4K is also been capturing the market. Like few halls have 4K display of projectors also, where you can find more clarity and more colors information in the footage. Okay, so this is how your presets are there. Generally, mostly what they will be using, these presets they will be using. Okay, so I'm going with the HD TV of 25 frames per second, 1080. So here the width is 1920 and height is 1080. Okay, and here log pixel, this aspect ratio is there, 16 is to 9, that is 1.78. Okay, so this pixel aspect ratio is there, and in this pixel aspect ratio, what type of pixels you want, whether they are square pixels or depending upon the size, it's just mentioning the size of the pixel. Okay, like 0.91 or 1.2 or something. What square pixel means? 1. Okay, 1 means that height will be 1 and that width will be 1. Okay, but in other formats it differs. Fine. So square pixels by default we are taking, and the frame rate will be 25 frames per second. Here I can change the frame rate. And resolution, what will be the resolution, whether you want to go with the full resolution or half a resolution or third of the resolution or quarter of the resolution, or else you can what do you say, you can uh, consider. Okay, and here one more thing you have to consider is that once you have made a composition, again later on you, if you want to change that process is very difficult and it will be like very messy. So you have to pre-plan in this After Effects. That is one major point. It's very important to pre-plan your work. Okay, so what will be the final output, in which format you will be working, these all things should be considered. Okay, now after the resolution, here comes the start time code and the duration. Okay, start time code means the time length of this timeline. Okay, so it starts from 0000. So these are frames and these are seconds, these are minutes and hours. Okay, so likewise it's been divided. So duration, how much? 30. What is this 30? I just told you guys.
Second, sir.
Okay, we'll see. And what will be the background color of this canvas what we are working? Okay, it will be black or any other color. Now I'll just, here advance is there. This one we'll discuss in later coming up topics. Okay, when it's required. Now I'm just clicking OK, and I got a composition. See, you have seen some changes here. First of all, if you see the project panel, you can see here some new name composition has been formed, right? So you can see some a real type of icon here, and as its name is what we have created, and it got some color so that we can identify these people immediately, and composition and its duration, and also other informations are provided here. You can also get information by right clicking. Okay, so here if you right click and one second, I'll tell you. Oh, there are some other things, so I'll tell you. So this is the way how you'll be you know working on. So this is composition, the composition which you created by yourself, you are pre-planning. Now if you see the composition properties. Now, this is the properties of the composition. And if you see the footage properties, so footage properties and composition for properties, there is a lot of difference. Composition is much bigger than that, and 25 frames per second, and this is what 24 frames per second, and the size is this, and aspect ratio is 1.0, and here aspect ratio will be 1. Yeah, you took square pixels, right? So that's the reason it's showing 1. So likewise, there is a lot of difference. So if you go and simply drag and see the size once again, I'll just here, okay, let's leave this point for now. And here, if you see in this composition panel, you can see a black window screen. Okay, so here it's pretty much occupied a lot. Now if you see this, some tab is there. Under this there are number of tabs. So in this, half, full, and make it quarter or something, auto or something. So full or half or what. Okay, so this is the size actually. Okay, so this is the size what you want to show. And here the screen, how much in this window your screen should fit. It's showing 44%. You want to fit it properly up to 100%, you can fit it. Okay, so you want to fit it for 1.5%, you want to fit it for 12.5% or 33% or 50%, that's up to you. Okay, so full and fit up to 100% or fit. Okay, so here half means half of the window will be showing and full of the window will be showing. That I'll be telling you later on. So this is how you can get it. And next, beside this, here you got some grid and guide options where you can click like title and action save. So where you will be having some you know, safe margins, we call them actually. Okay, these are safe margins. These margins, your footage must be inside of these margins. So every format has some particular length where, you know, you might have watched movies in televisions. So here black screen will be there on the top and the black screen will be there on the bottom, some where you can you know, post some text and title. Generally news channels you'll be finding out more. Okay, కింద నుంచి ఏదో ఇలాగా స్క్రాలింగ్ అవుతున్నట్టు ఉంటుంది, right? They'll be moving from left to right or something in the top also. So these are safe margins where few footages, you know, depending upon their projectors and their properties, it might get cut. Okay, it might get cut. So that's the reason they'll be making them in the safe, and they'll be depending on for what client and for what purpose you are sending that video, which format they want. So these all things we have to consider before starting our project. Okay, so this is our safe margins. And there are other things also we'll discuss later. And this is a mask shape. When you create some mask, you have to switch it on, then you can able to view that. Okay, and here if you see, I'm just moving this you know, pointer in this timeline. My timing is being changed. Okay, so here you can see that's a current time where you can see from the timeline. Okay, next there are few other options also. This is toggle transparency grid. If you turn it on, anything which is non-transparent will be visible, or else it won't be visible. Now why this black screen has turned up into transparent? You know what's the meaning of transparent, right? See
Yes,
through
sir.
అంటే మీ గ్లాస్, రైట్? సో ఆ ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ ఎందుకు ఉంది అని అంటే, ఈ బ్లాక్ స్క్రీన్ ఏంటి అని అంటే, మీకు వర్క్ చేయడానికి దే జస్ట్ గేవ్ సమ్ బిహైండ్, బట్ యాక్చువల్లీ యు ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ట్రాన్స్పరెంట్ window. Okay, there is nothing is there here until and unless you put something here. There is nothing, because nothing is there na in timeline. No layer is been formed, no background layer is there, no foreground, nothing is there. So it's transparent. But what by default they have just made that so that it will be look free for you, and you can work on this. Okay, so you can turn on transparency or turn off transparency. Okay, next comes active camera. These things will be learning further. As you have seen in Maya, left side, front view, and everything, we got the camera. So here also we got those camera things. And one view or two views, you can change it. You can change two views. You can change two views vertical. You can change four views. So it's depending upon you. Okay. So one view will go for right now, and here some aspect ratio correction is there, some fast preview, some timeline, and composition flow chart, and some other thing. Okay. Now this is our composition, what we made the new composition. Now we will discuss some other ways of making a composition. Okay, first thing, what we created a composition from here, or else you can create a composition from here, same settings you'll be getting here. Now I want whatever the footage properties are there, with the same properties, I want to form a one composition which is as equal to as to this. So simply click on that, what do you say, that footage, just select it, drag it, and drop on the new composition layer. Automatically, a new composition is being formed in the same name of that footage. So CG plates 1. Now you can see this is one composition where you are able to view. Okay, here you are able to view. Fine. Here you are able to view that. Okay, so this is what first layer you have placed here. I can turn off the layer and turn on the layer. Okay, so this is transparency, because transparency is not there because you got a opaque object. You know opaque, right? I'm using
Yes, sir.
little technical terms. You are able to understand? Opaque means no transparency. Everything can be we can see, we cannot see through, right? So this is a transparent. I turned off, and as soon as I turn on that layer, you can not see what is behind this layer. Okay, so this is just like after Photoshop, where you are placing one layer means one paper, another paper, that same way, same process, but we'll be working in the number of sequences, and many other advanced tools we'll be having in this After Effects. Okay, so this is your some basic stuff. And now CG plates this